So we got a Citroen Picasso in from the last video. We're going to change the fuel rail pressure sensor and see if that improves things. We have to do a shout out for the person that accused us, Pete, of making this up for content. So apparently we loaded the car up onto a transport with Adrian, then said, Adrian, hang fire a second there, pulled it off the transport, did some video, and then said, Adrian, load it back on again. And then I had you work on it just for the fun of it, just to create content. Brilliant. Yeah, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry. And obviously, just to clarify, I did pin a comment on the last video. I don't know if I gave the impression that we just literally sent this car out the door. We'd never do that. This car had brand new clutch, brand new front disc pads, brand new lower arms, brand new drop links, oil and filters, advisory-free service. I drove it to Barnstable back, what, about 4 times, Pete? Did I drive this Barnstable back? Which is what, about 20 minutes each time?
Yeah, new clutch.
Yeah, new clutch. I did say that, yeah. So that was about 40 minutes 3 times, and you drove it as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I drove it, yeah.
Yeah, so it had lots of test drives. The customer had it for 2 days before it developed a fault. So those that were saying that we didn't prep it properly, I mean, like I said in my comment, bar of having a crystal ball available to us here in the unit. It's a 2012 car, so that's what, that 14 years old now with 100,000 miles on it. Something failed on it, and I didn't have any problem with the customer at all. I was just pointing out that when a car is 1995, you can't eat £300 worth of transport on it, so it's not the kind of car you should distance sale. As I said in my video, all I'm saying is that I would suggest that distance sales are left to much newer, lower mileage vehicles that aren't likely to have issues. If you sell a car like this, you need to do it on your doorstep, where if someone has a problem, there's no transport costs involved. You could literally just get it fixed. They could just drop it to you and get it fixed here. So Pete's going to look into it. We think this is a good swap out, the fuel rail pressure sensor. It's quite a common thing on these, and we'll give it a go and see what happens. So our cash guy's done what cash guys do and sold super quickly. In fact, on Saturday we had 2 people fighting over it. Somebody had seen it the day before and was trying to haggle with me on Saturday, and I said, well, I actually have viewings on Saturday, so you need to make your mind up. They made their mind up at the point a lady was sat in it, having test driven it on the phone to her dad, trying to debate with her dad whether she should go ahead or not on purchase. Dad wanted to negotiate price on it as well, and in the end I said, look, one of you has to just basically put a deposit down, because the first person who put a deposit down is the person who's got the car, and the people that had seen the car today put the deposit on the car while she was still deciding whether she was going to have it or not, and they got the car in the end. She did say that Dad wasn't sure, and Dad wanted to speak to her and wanted her to have a bit more money spare if something went wrong with the car later on, so I don't think she was ready to commit on the day anyway. But anyway, it's sold. And as I said, cash guys do sell super well. That's why we call them cash cows. Not as in they're massively profitable. It's not hugely profitable. They just sell really, really quickly. This special edition one got a lot of interest. I'd had the messages as well. Last thing to do before it goes out the door is get it serviced. So, of course, we've been on to AutoDoc and we had ordered up our bits. A lot of you were saying about the quality of the stuff that I got last time getting Ridex. So I've ordered comma oil for this one. We've got comma oil and we've got man filters, so hopefully that should keep everyone happy. As I've said before with AutoDoc, I don't think there's anything wrong with their Ridex stuff, but you can buy all kinds of brands that you might like. You can totally decide for yourself what grade of goods you want, and all the prices are brilliant. Let me show you. I'll get on the app and show you again, just in case you haven't seen it, how easy to use their app is and how great their prices are. Let's use this little Picanto as an example, because we need to do a service on this. I'll get it up on the AutoDoc app using the registration and show you how affordable it is to get all your service kit for a little car like this. So we're going to add a car to the list. So Canto's now on the list. What we're going to search for, we'll get some oil. And we'll go for, so you've got the Ridex oil there, £34 for 4 litres, absolute bargain. Or we could go for more of a known brand, like your Castrol. So we can put a Castrol in. It's got a 41% discount on Castrol oil. Right, we've got that. So let's get the air filter. So we could go with a Fabia air filter. I would just say go with a Blueprint. It's already ahead of the game, knows what I'm going to need. So let's add that as well. 16% off the RRP of that. So let's go to the basket and see what our total is. So there we have it. Our blueprint oil filter was 16% off, our blueprint air filter was 37% off, and our castor oil was 41% off. Total is only $47.97 for that service kit. Good news is though, when you're in the checkout, apply the discount coupon Chops Garage, and you will find that you will get a discount. 5% off. There you go, 5% coupon applied. Bargain. So there we have it. Get that AutoDock app downloaded onto your phone. Start saving loads of money and all your servicing and other goods you need for your car. And make sure you use that Chops Garage code so you get the extra 5% discount. One job finally managed to get done is refurb the alloy wheels on our little Suzuki Celeron, Celery, whatever they're called. This was a mega low mileage. I think it was about 30,000 miles on it, but it had the traditional lacquer peeled wheels all over it, where all the clear lacquer is coming away. So took them off, rubbed them down, and just opted to go for a plain silver, and I think it looks quite nice. Obviously saved us quite a bit of money doing it ourselves. Getting them refurbed has been about 250 quid. This has cost us a few cans and a bit of time. Obviously our time does cost money, but yeah, I think we've probably saved at least 100 quid or so doing it this way. Every penny counts on these cheaper cars, so we'll drag that out, get it photographed and get it up for sale now. I've had this for absolutely ages, had this for a few months, and the only reason it's not been up for sale was purely those wheels. But you're saying that to a man who's got a car here that is lovely and literally just needs a machine polish before it's photographed, and I've been sitting on that for weeks as well just because I haven't machine polished it. A smart person would argue that probably paying somebody else to do the work and having turned the car around, say within a week or so, paying a third party to paint the wheels makes more sense, because a car can drop 200 quid or so month by month just off the variation in trade values of vehicles. So in reality, I probably haven't saved anything. That's what a sensible person would say anyway. Yeah, you should just pay somebody else to get it done so you can get the car up for sale quicker, and in the long run that is going to be more financially beneficial. If you recall, at the beginning of the month we sold this nice little Hyundai i10. We were doing a brand new MOT, which we've done. We've now done that, serviced it, but the only thing that was troublesome with the bodywork was this piece of missing trim on the front wheel arch. I've searched high and low, this body kit does not exist. I've had people send me X-Line body kits, but that's for the later Hyundai i10. Did I say a Picanto at the beginning? Hopefully I said Hyundai i10 at the beginning. Yeah, so I cannot find this. I've never seen one with this on before. I can't find anybody who does a listing for it. I ordered lots of different types of arches. None of them fitted. So in the end, I opted for the only thing left, which is make my own one. So here we go. Fiberglass with a little bit of filler on. You might say, why have I left the lower bit on it? It's because I need, when I mount this to the body, I need to make sure it's all level and following the same curve. So I needed that as a reference, and I will blend in the old arch into this, because these are glued on all the way around, so it's not like they're removable anyway, they're all glued on. So I've made this one out of, I put a couple of sheets of fiberglass down. Basically I made a template out of card first, covered the card template in what do I use, duct tape. Then the fiberglass won't stick to duct tape, so then I put layers of fiberglass on top of the duct tape guide that I made up with the arch, and then I sand it down and then put a little bit of filler over the top to smooth it out. It's going to need smoothing again, and it will go on there, it'll be bonded on there like the kit is. And then I will use primer, and then I've got a Pro XL plastic paint, which is the same sort of texture as this stuff here. If needs be, I'll repaint the whole kit to match with the black texture paint. That won't be too hard. We'll clean it down and redo it. Hopefully won't need to. So that was the only option left. A really daft thing, but I mean, we could have just stripped the body kit off all the car all the way around. I guess that would have been another option, but I've managed to come up with this solution, which I think is perfectly acceptable. Obviously it's fiberglass, that's plastic. This isn't going to rot out or anything like that. It's not like we have to worry about whether it's absorbent or not. It's not on metal. And yeah, I think that's the best job we could do in these circumstances, to be fair. So we'll get it on there painted up, and then when I've done that, I'll come back and show you, and you can all decide for yourself what you think of the work. This will probably need a little skim or something still at the end when it's on the car. We've got Craig from Custom Valets in with us today. He's doing a full retail valet on the Mercedes, what is this, a B-Class, isn't it? We took off of our subscriber. when he part exchanged against the Mini. I've driven it home and back, so we've done an hour's worth of test drive on it, and I'm happy enough with it. Possibly front near side wheel bearing, we'll get that checked out. But now I've started on the button from cold, most important thing about a diesel, so it started in the morning, which means no glow plug issues, no leak down from the injectors, there were no clouds of smoke at startup. Yeah, it started out fine, plenty of power, drives nicely, it's got lots of nice kit in it, nice reversing camera, so I reckon a nice affordable car as well. It's not going to have a high price, can't remember exactly, I'll find out, I'll put it on the screen, but it'll be a very affordable car. So yeah, I think once Craig's gone over it as well, bodywork seems in good condition, it's going to look in really good nick. I guess there'll be some marking on those alloys, but I don't think it's going to be worth doing too much at the price point this car is going to be. So Petey's been busy, he's had to take the top panel off here, take the wiper arms off to get all that out of the way, to get the cover off that allows you access to the back. So if they're like, can't really show you the bit that's bad because it's down here somewhere. Pete says it's behind the starter motor. He's got to get down here somewhere and take it out. It's just it literally, once you're in there, I think it's 22mm spanner just to take it out and replace it with a new one. It'll be interesting when it gets out, see how clogged up it is. But yeah, battery trays had to come out, everything along there. I think it might be moved an ECU or something over there. And it lives back there somewhere. Once we get it out, I'll show you what it looks like and we'll see if we're right or not, see if it's all gummed up. So Craig has finished valeting the Mercedes and it looks fantastic. The paintwork's really good on this car. Like I said, the alloys have got some corrosion on them, but it's to be expected at this age. I don't think the value of the car merits a full refurb on, and they're not that bad, to be honest. But like I say, all the bodywork's really nice. It's a good looking thing, actually. Those black wheels look proper on it, and the interior's come up really well as well. So thanks for our subscriber for bringing that down. There's a Part X. I think it's going to make someone a very nice little car. I think it's got a very long MOT on it. It was only just done, but it was left with advisory. So all we've got to do is tackle the advisories. Let's open that door. We don't leave advisories on cars, so all we've got to do is tackle the advisories. We'll get Petey to do those. And then we'll be good to go. I was surprised I had the reversing camera when I was using it this morning. I thought it'd just be sensors. Good old boot in there. So yeah, great car for someone who, a lot of people want something with a higher roofline to make it a bit easier to get in and out. It feels a bit more airy as well, doesn't it? What have we got toys with? Bluetooth, reversing camera, aircon. Have we got cruise control? I don't think we've got cruise control, have we? No. Yeah, I'll put the price up on screen for that one in case anyone's interested, because we haven't advertised that outside of the business yet, because I'm trying to wait for a nice break to do a photo shoot. I need to clear some spaces so I can do photo shoots inside. I've got cars out there waiting to do photos on, like the 2018 Cougar there, the ST line. It's been fully valeted now, it's just getting dirty again outside, so really want to get some photo shoots done on that. Pete just finished off the last of the work on our Skoda that came from a subscriber as a part exchange. So we've done the MOT work on it. This, if you remember, this 138,000 miles. If you remember, this 138,000 miles on a 2007 with the 1.8 petrol engine in it. We have just, like I said, done the advisory, which was a rear near side arm. And so what was it? Rear side arm on the MOT. We did disc pads out of our choice, didn't we? Because we thought there was a bit of fluctuation. Oh, front ball joint, yeah, and a rear arm. Yeah, they call it an anti-roll bar link, but we did an anti-roll bar link on the new arm because it needed cutting off. And then we did the disc pads because we felt a bit of fluctuation in the pedal. That one we're gonna get up for sale. We're not going to go around and do the paintwork or the wheels and that. It's going to be a really cheap car. That I'm thinking probably 2000. I'm thinking 1795 with the fresh MOT on it, but MOT warranty wise, I'm going to say 30 days on that. 30-day warranty. You can't be given a longer warranty than that, can you? If they drive around for 30 days and everything's working as it should, then they got a decent car, and after that, if you've got to put parts into a car, as long as it's not like engine or gearbox, the rest of it's just standard maintenance for a vehicle that age, isn't it? Little Fabia's back from having some work done on it. We've got to get the MOT work done now. If you remember, this did sell, but when I drove it, I started to get a bit of smell of diesel in the car. Checked it out and found a bit of a crack in the rocker cover on it that was letting some fumes out. So sent it down to Moores to get that done. I had it MOT at the same time. For the MOT, they noted that it had fumes coming into the cabin, and they also noted that, I think probably because I told them that, they noted there was advisories with 2 top mounts, and then advisories for some tyres. The person that purchased the car, I rang them up and said, there's a few things that are going to need doing, so it's going to delay the delivery. And they said, oh, I really need a car now. Can we come and look at what else you've got? And they bought the little turquoise Mazda 2 instead. A lot cheaper car. So this one will be going back up for sale. We'll just get that MOT work done. The rocker cover, I don't know how much that cost me. I don't even want to think about how much it cost me to have the rocker cover done on it, because they had to have pulled the injectors to have done that. And yeah, so I don't imagine that job was cheap. Now I had to get a genuine rocker cover as well. So I imagine that wasn't a particularly cheap job. That one's another one of those cars where, because when we got it, we did quite a bit, paid out for a lot of paint to be done on it as well. We've had that job where if you get out of it breaking even, you're kind of like you consider that a success, to be honest. Oh, what I'd point out this one, just as a public service to other people looking to buy cars from auction, is that I always make the assumption of thinking, and I shouldn't, that if it had dinged up bodywork, which this one did, that's the reason that it's been got rid of on part exchange. Normally the people that are happy to drive around with dinged up bodywork will only actually get rid of the car once they get a mechanical issue. They're quite happy to drive it dinged up, and they only get rid of it when they have a mechanical issue. So probably it was the fuel smell coming in via the cabin that caused the issue. It took a while for you to notice it. It took quite a while to build up, because it's only a very small crack, and took us quite a while to work out where it was coming from. The way we worked it out, we actually cleaned the engine bay and then ran it up, and we could see where it was bubbling around the neck of the filler cap. That's how we worked out where it was coming from. But yeah, like I say, I think I've probably learnt by now, and I need to put this to memory, that when a car's beaten up, it doesn't mean that's the reason it was part exchange. Normally they're quite happy to drive them like that, but they got rid of it because the mechanical issues come up, and then it goes to auction because no dealers in their right mind is going to want to pay for all the paintwork to be done to make it right, and then sort out whatever other mechanical issues there are. Well, the Cinch truck is here with the latest delivery of cars from BCA, British Car Auctions. Let's go and see what we bought blind online. I thought it's time to treat him again. I thought, what shall I do for him? I'm going to get him a company vehicle.